You should listen to what I have to say today because XRP experiences many odd things every day. All right, XRP is growing significantly in a manner that has never been observed before. We're talking about a large user base. The stock market is introducing numerous crypto rails. To be clear, this is beneficial for the entire cryptocurrency industry. I still have a lot to tell you about the amazing people back home, though. Since there is a lot of misleading information out there, I spent the entire day reading the news today to locate all the accurate information. Currently, there is news circulating. For example, the rumor that Jerome Powell resigned and displayed his retirement letter was untrue. AI actually created the stamp. To view the stamp for yourself on the following page, scroll down. Numerous credible sites covered it in the news, but I'm researching it for you so you don't have to. Focus on obtaining the greatest information, and don't bother about anything else. I'll begin by discussing the broad picture. We are going to discuss the global economies. We are discussing trade agreements. The cryptocurrency market needs to talk about taxes. We've all witnessed its actions numerous times. And listen, many of the trades have ultimately ended. This is quite exciting, particularly in light of what Japan is currently doing. This is fantastic for Americans. All right, the United States and Japan just signed a trade agreement. They will have to give the U.S. 90% of their income and spend $550 billion. Japan will continue to be responsible for the 15% of whatever they bring into the U.S. is taxed. I apologize, but I'm not sure who in Japan made this arrangement feasible. Despite spending $550 billion annually in the U.S., Japan barely receives 10% of the net earnings from these large purchases. $500 billion to be exact. Yes, for the United States of America. That is a huge deal. Given the close record, it appeared that Japan's economy had to be far worse than most people believe in order for them to accept this agreement. This is a valid point as well. In another way, interest rates in Japan have been negative, meaning they are extremely low. After their significant stock market meltdown in the 1990s, it still appears that things are not going well there. Japan has had extremely high rates of inflation. Their business hasn't improved in a long time. They appear to be trapped in a bubble from which I doubt they can break. We'll wait and see. All I can say is that Japan needs to establish such agreements now. Additionally, we can observe that being willing to take risks is through the roof. This is the biggest market share for options in 20 years. According to Goldman Sachs, this percentage is only a little less than the joke stock peak of 72% in 2021. This percentage fell to 42% during the worst of the 2022 bear market. A record 298% of the open dollar amount was exchanged as his market capitalization was reached. This is nearly as high as GameStop's record high of 316% in January. We passed across this line 3 times. By 2020, 3 times in 2021, and at the end of 2020, just before 2022, it was November. From this vantage point, I believe we've essentially returned to where we were in 2020. Right now, I believe altcoins will reach 2 more peaks, which could be significant increases. There will probably be a significant decline after that, similar to what happened in 2022 and 2023. We are essentially watching this to see when the markets are prepared to recover. There is a possibility that we will only peak twice rather than 3 times. Additionally, there's that possibility plus something. Prepare yourself, I believe. Don't be caught by surprise when others sell their investments and exit the market. Particularly for the major actors or businesses that essentially control all major price adjustments, such as the ones we have seen recently for XRP. The red is still present today, but we have already experienced the green. The agreement between the US and EU to split 15% of the cost of goods sold is also nearly finished. The tax agreement was ultimately rejected by the US and EU. Japan has agreed to work with the US. That is fantastic news for the United States. In other words, it appears that the United States is ahead. They are winning by a significant margin, according to Trump. What this will do to the markets overall is too soon to say. The markets, in my opinion, are mostly looking for the Federal Reserve to clarify its approach. When will rates start to decline? That must take place. We must not let go of any of that and keep the heat on. And furthermore, the crypto report will be released by the U.S. government on July 30th. The topic of this crypto report is still unknown, but it marks the end of the next crypto week. Many more ETFs will be available for use. Several XRP ETFs have already been released to the market. If that's the case, I'm excited about this. If you're interested, I will show you this crypto report when it's released, and I think is what will encourage the next significant group of people to use XRP. Though I don't think everything will be green, I'm confident our journey will be enjoyable. Watch out for that then. We'll talk about that next, but the news that brings me the most joy is this one. All right, an electronic coin associated with money market funds will be released by Goldman Sachs BMY. This is evident in all of my previous news reports and revelations. All right, at the moment there is a conflict between cryptocurrency and stock market money market funds. A supernova explosion will result from them colliding like two enormous planets. That is not sound financial advice, in my opinion. Seize the best opportunities to profit greatly from cryptocurrency. You should consider this now. Trillions of dollars are exchanged on the stock market every day. We know that Robinhood intends to transform the stock market into a cryptocurrency venture. Cryptocurrency will then be used to purchase goods with all of those quadrillions of dollars. Since I initially invested in cryptocurrencies, I have been waiting for that group of early consumers. Tokenizing real stocks of real companies, along with anything else you can think of. In the altcoin market, you can buy or trade anything from Bitcoin to Ethereum to Solana to H. I've been waiting for it, and it's also the riskiest place. Set everything else aside. Find out how to transfer money to anywhere in the world. On the stock market, it's easy to confuse many tokens for real assets. The sum of those tokens is substantial. These actions will have sent trillions of dollars worth of XRP through the ledger by the time they are finished. All right, if any of these, yes, this is being read by the BMY guys at Goldman Sachs. If any of these companies that tokenize stocks and carry out all of these money market fund operations fail, they can demonstrate to the larger banking community and big capital that with proper execution, this is a viable strategy. And additionally, as more people are using and selling their services, they make a lot of money from it. Of course, once everyone has done the same thing, the light will turn on and off. You can see all the noise coming in. In addition, I'm anticipating it. I'm glad to see a big correction like the one we saw today. Because of this, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I obviously made a purchase on this red day. I'll make another purchase tomorrow and the next day if it's another red day. I will buy a large quantity. Stay long, because we're going down. But this is just going to be temporary, isn't it? Large buyers, referred to as whales, will enter and obtain many shares. So they will try to convince people to sell quickly. Get rid of those who are over-indebted or something like that. That's how the market works. They get a lot of money from that. But after we hit that bottom and all of this volume and ETF bullshit kicks in, the Fed will cut rates. No question about that, guys. All right, it appears that we have at least two more significant steps to take. We'll get to the bottom shortly, I think. After that, it will return to... I am eagerly anticipating the races. Ultimately, it turns out that the day we observe a big red sign is the day the stochastic RSI declines. What?